Hello, I'm Adrian, and you're watching No Friends Gaming, because you don't need friends to have a good time. Today we're playing Dune Imperium solo on Kwisatz Haderach level, the hardest difficulty. Here is our completely randomized setup. It just so happens that, fittingly, we're playing as the man himself, Paul Atreides, and he's up against his dear old dad, Duke Leto Atreides, and some random. Don't even remember her being in the film. Anyway, we're also playing with the brutal escalation rule that was introduced in later expansions to this game. It just means that the rivals will each draw 2 House Hagal cards for combat instead of 1. Makes things a bit more exciting in the late game. So, here we have our first stage 1 conflict there, skirmish, and we're going to draw 5 cards for our opening hand. And with prescience, Paul is able to look at the top card of his deck. Good to know. All right. So, later we'll begin. He will go to Arakeen, and he will get a troop and push 1 more in. Expert troop deployment rule means he will stop at 2 troops. He also gets his signet ring ability, but he doesn't have a spice to spend, so he'll just have to forego that. Ariana will then not have a spice. There's no bonus spice. She will go to Conspire and get 2 troops in her garrison. All right, so what are we doing here? We have 3 cards that we would really like to play early on. And we also should be thinking about which cards to save to purchase cards from the row here. And wow, I mean, these costs are really disparate. We would probably be going for this card then, Gene Manipulation, which means we only need 3 Persuasion saved up in hand. Then it almost doesn't matter what we do with these cards. We're going to start by playing Diplomacy in that case, because we can easily get more enough Persuasion to buy Gene Manipulation, and so we can save Seek allies for the next run through our deck. So we'll take Diplomacy, go to Still Suits, we're going to get a Water, and an influence with the Fremen, and I think we will push in 1 troop here so that we can at least go for the 2nd place rewards. If it so happens that blue pushes in more troops, then we might be able to overtake them again with the Seek Allies card. We'll see. All right, so that's our turn done. Now it's later. He will go to Carthag. All right, so he is pushing in more units. So he'll get a troop here, which will go into exceed me by 2. Ariana will then go to Wealth and get a victory point. Now, instead of trying to fight with Leto for this victory point skirmish, we would be very happy to get 2nd place because it awards Solari. And on that note, that 2 Solari would help us get to High Council. We'd only need 3 more Solari. Let's use Signet Ring to go to Secure Contract and get that 3 Solari. Signet Ring's ability is Discipline to draw a card, so we knew we had Reconnaissance there, so we can get our 3 Persuasion to afford Gene Manipulation. The rivals are now out of agents, so it's back to us for our reveal turn, and so we have that 3 Persuasion. We'll pick up Gene Manipulation. We also have 1 Dagger, so that puts us at 3 Strength compared to Leto's 6. Right, these are now discarded. Okay. And we go to the combat. So Leto will draw a card, providing him with 4 swords, puts him at 10. And so he will win a victory point, and we will win an intrigue card and 2 Solari, getting us to 5, as planned. Then these troops die, and we will do Makers. Then Recall. And we'll start the next round. So first player will pass to Ariana, drawing a new conflict. It is Siege of Carthag. And here's our new hand. Now we need to shuffle our deck. And we'll peek at the top card. Oh, the Seek Allies. Cool. Well, we'll begin the round with Ariana. She will go to Still Suits. Gaining influence, pushing 2 troops into the fray. Then, as for us, we do want to get High Council, but we can go there anytime. We can use Diplomacy first up. How much do we want this? It is better, I think, to try and compete for this conflict now before the rivals get their sword masters and are likely to go to more combat spaces. So we'll play Diplomacy right now, going to Hardy Warriors, paying this water, and getting 2 troops, and pushing in 2 more. Yes, don't want to take too many risks with that. Especially if we're using our dagger to go to High Council, we won't have any bonus combat swords. Okay, so Leto's turn. He will harvest spice, so he will go to the Great Flat and take 4 spice and push in 2 troops. Then Ariana will rally troops, getting 4 troops into her garrison. And now we're feeling pretty safe in the conflict there. We're going to play dagger and go to High Council, paying 5 Solari. That will allow us to afford Josh Brolin over there for 6 persuasion. Okay, then Leto he'll go to Conspire. Okay, and that will get him 2 troops in his garrison. And Ariana's out of agents, so it's to our reveal turn. We've got 6 persuasion, so we'll pick up Thanos over here. There we are. Okay. Now to the conflict. Oh, everyone's in there. Okay, so Ariana will draw first. She gets a bonus 2, so she's sitting at 6 strength. We have 8 at the moment. Leto will draw 2 strength as well. They're tied for 6. Wow, this is really good for us actually. So they will each get the 3rd tier reward of 1 spice. And we will get 1 victory point and control of Carthage. And these die. Right. Okay. And we'll do makers. And recall. Okay, so round start, we get this token, reveal the next conflict. Oh, look at that. Each rival will get a sword master. And we'll draw a new hand here. And we get to peek at our top card, which of course is gene manipulation. Interesting. It'd be really nice to draw that and not have it skip the shuffle, because it is an important card. It's got that trash ability, which is nice to use early on. And there's a lot of spice accumulating for us to collect. Yeah, all right. We might not compete for this conflict. It's just not that impactful getting more Solari now that we already have High Council. Oh, we probably should have put this marker up there. There we go. Cool. So let's begin. Sorry, just keep my hand face up since it's solo mode. All right, to draw that gene manipulation, we should play Signet Ring and pick up lots of juicy spice. So let's go to Hugger Basin, paying this water. We'll collect 4 spice. And with our Signet ability, draw this card. All right, we don't have any troops to push into the conflict, so it now goes to Leto's turn, who will go to Fold Space. Then Ariana, Hall of Oratory. So we want to use gene manipulation now. We can save Seek Allies for later again. I don't really mind doing that, because I do value this trashing ability. And if we go to Carthage, we get that bonus Solari. It's pretty good. Fine, let's just go there. So we'll get a Solari. We're going to get an intrigue card. Sorry, played this card, of course, as I said. And we're going to get a troop. And the question is what to do with it. We'll decide that in a bit. First, gene manipulation will trash a dagger. Don't really need daggers so much now that we've got the High Council seat. That's gone. And, well, what might the AI do here? There's 3 Arakeen, 3 Carthag cards. Still 2 Arakeen cards. There's a Harvest Spice card. They are pretty likely still to go into the conflict. They're still Highliners, Hardy Warriors. So we're actually going to save this troop. We'll let them fight over this. There is a small chance that they don't enter the conflict at all, but we don't want to take that risk. Okay, so that's it for us. Now, Duke Leto, he's going to, this. Highliner, well, there you go. Go to Highliner, getting a victory point from the Space and Guild track, and gaining 3 troops, of which he'll put in 2. Then Ariana, Carthag is blocked. Secrets. Right. We're out of agents, so we've got 3, 4, 5 to spend here. We will take space travel because it will allow us faction access. And with 2 more, we don't have other Fremen cards to trigger this reliably. So I think we'll take an Arrakis Liaison. It will give us more purchasing power to hopefully be able to afford more expensive cards like Chani and Chom Directorship in due course. So there we go. We have 1 dagger, it means nothing. That's the end of our turn. So goes back to Leto, who will go to selective breeding. And then Ariana will rally troops. Wow, okay. So now we are a bit regretful. If we had put in that 1 troop, we'd get 4 Solari for it, which is a very worthy exchange. But that's all right. All that happens here is in the conflict, Duke Leto will draw a card to get 1 more strength for no particular reason, and then he will get the 6 Solari first tier reward. These die. And makers. Recalling. And round start phase. So this passes to Leto, and we get a new conflict card, Sort Through the Chaos. Our hand is this. All right, we might finally play Seek Allies, maybe. All right, so Leto's going to begin. He will do the Hall of Oratory, gaining a troop. Ariana will go to Hardy Warriors, gaining a victory point, Fremen influence, and 2 troops into her garrison, but she cannot gain those troops since she's already got all of her troops in her garrison. She went to rally troops twice. All right, well, she'll put 2 into the conflict, and then it's to us. Well, I can't believe Imperial Basin's just sitting there with so much spice. Let's go there. Dune the Desert Planet, and get 4 spice. So that's 5 minus 1. And I don't know if we push that troop in, to be honest. Doesn't really seem worth it. Like, this is a good combat to compete for, but if we want it, we can go for Highliner, and then we can put that troop in anywhere, in any way. So let's just leave it for now. Let's go to Duke Leto, who will go to Carthag, getting a troop and pushing in 2 more. Ariana will then selectively breed. That's an unfortunate turn of phrase. Then us. All right. Interesting. I am actually quite tempted to compete for this conflict. So we know that Highliner's gone. We know that there's going to be 2 Arakeen cards. Yeah, that's the last 2 cards. It's just 2 Arakeens. So Duke later will respond by putting in even more troops. Yeah, it's probably not worth going to Highliner just yet. Fine, If we play Seek Allies, then what are we going to do with 6 Persuasion left? There's no point. So we're going to play Diplomacy. We'll save Seek Allies again. 5 Persuasion is still enough to afford Zendaya over here, so let's do this. We'll play Diplomacy. We don't need to augment our forces just yet. So let's try and get some more of these easy faction points. We're going to go for secrets. So I want to draw intrigue cards since I don't have any particular preference for other resources to collect right now. Intrigue cards will give us a bit more of a sense of what we might be capable of. All right. Then later we'll go to Arakeen. There we go. So he gets a troop. He won't push any more in because Ariana's already got some forces there. Because he's already exceeding Ariana by 2 troops, sorry. But he will use this Signet ability. He'll pay 1 spice to gain an influence of the faction when the opponent has more than he. And he will break ties by going for wherever he has the lowest influence. That would be the Fremen. So he goes up there. All right, now Ariana, well, she can't go to Arakeen, so we'll reshuffle the entire House Hagar deck. And she will have a spice, so she'll go here and get 4 spice. So that's 5 minus the 1 that she already had. And then she will push in 2 troops. So she and Leto are both on 8 strength. It's our reveal, and as was foretold, we will pick up Zendaya for 1 water on Acquire. And these are all discarded. I promise you one day we will play Seek Allies. Okay, here we go. Some Bene Gesserit synergy appears. Okay, so now we go to the conflict. Later we'll get 4 swords. Wow. And Ariana, only 1. So later we'll get the first place rewards. He will get the Mentat to use next round. He'll get an Intrigue card and 2 Solari. Oh, which combined with the 5 he already had here will get him a victory point for resources. Then Ariana will get 2 Solari, and she will also get an Intrigue card. These die. Right, so makers and recalling. Then round start. Adrian is now first player. We reveal the next conflict, which is to raid stockpiles, and we'll draw our hand. Yeah, there we go. And look at our top card. It's a Signet Ring. Interesting. So we'll probably play Gurney Halleck and then the Signet Ring this round. So here comes Ariana. She's going to go to the Hall of Oratory. Getting another troop. She loves storing troops in her garrison. All right, so let's play Gurney. Well, do we save the troops? It is so likely that later will enter the conflict that's on stage. He's got 4 actions. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We're going to go to Carthag in any case, so we can get that bonus Solari. Sorry, let's just keep our resources up here. We'll get an Intrigue card. Interesting. Interesting. Wait a moment. Again, we haven't gotten gene manipulation, but we could put Bene Gesserit synergy on top of our deck directly. Nah, it's probably not worth doing. Okay. Anyway, we also get a troop from Carthag. We get 2 troops from Gurney, and we get a card draw. Now we'll look at the top card of our deck. It's gene manipulation. So, what's going to happen? We will probably get to 8 persuasion, which will allow us to afford Chone directorship, because this will draw us that gene manipulation card. That's fine. No, I'm not in the rush to play this card necessarily. Okay, so then all that matters is how many of these troops do we commit? I'm really not sure. I think we'd better just wait and see. That would be the wisest approach. Leto is going to go to still suits. Well, there you go. He gets a victory point, pushes these in. Ariana will harvest spice. That's 3 spice, so she'll get this 1, and then 2 more spice combined with the 5 here, gets her a point, and she'll push in 2 troops. Then it's us again, we'll play our signet ring. Now, don't think we need even more card draw, so we're not going to go to Arakeen. Yeah, I think it's time for us to play Dispatch and Envoy. So we can get some faction influence with this card, since we're not really interested in the other spaces. So we'll play that, and use Signet Ring to go to Secrets again, I believe. So we'll get a victory point here for Bene Gesserit influence. We will draw an intrigue card. That is a very nice card to see. And we will draw a card. All right, so now later, will not harvest spice, no bonus spice is available. He'll go to not Carthag, that's blocked. Secrets is blocked. He'll go to Fold Space. Ariana, Hall of Oratory. Nope, that's taken by her. Highliner, wow, okay, so she goes up there and we'll get, well, she'll get 3 troops, but only put 2 of them into the fray to beat Leto by 2 troops. And then it's our reveal turn, so we have 9 persuasion. We could go directly for Spice Must Flow, but Trone Directorship is a really important card to get as well. Look, we could probably easily afford Trone Directorship later. The nice thing about solo mode is that there aren't other players competing for these cards, so we'll take Spice Must Flow and gain a point. Right, we need to shuffle up for our next draw. In the meantime, later we'll go to, not Carthag, we'll go to Wealth and get a point. Then Ariana is out of agent. Sorry, so this is a Leto turn. Later we'll go to Arakeen. Put that in and get his signet ability, so we'll pay 1 spice and go up where he is lowest, and there are people higher than him. Bene Gesserit, he gets a point. Okay, we go into the conflict. We have yellow sitting on 6 and blue at 8. So first we have Ariana. She will draw 2 combat swords, and later will draw 1. So Ariana will win. She will get her 3rd intrigue card for a victory point, and 3 spice. Later we'll just get 2 spice. Then these die, and we do makers. Calling. And next round. So we are first. Here's the new conflict. It's Machinations. New hand looks like this. Perfect. We can use space travel to go to Highliners this turn. That might be worth doing. We peek at our top card. Diplomacy. Cool. Do space travel and diplomacy. It's 2 faction visits in a round. Would be really nice. Okay. Yeah. I think because of Chani, who will allow us to retreat any number of our troops, we can just go all out into the conflict. So let's go to Highliner right now and pay 6 spice. That will get us 5 troops. We'll push in 2 more from our garrison, and we'll get an influence and 2 water. The space travel card itself will let us draw. Into diplomacy, our next top card is Seek Allies. Oh, will we ever play you? Okay, Leto. Arakeen. We'll put in 1 troop and get his signet ability, so he'll pay 1 spice and go up with... Oh. He will not do that. Very interesting. There is no faction track where an opponent has more influence than Leto. So that just won't trigger. Okay, cool. I'm not sure I've ever seen that happen before. Okay, so Ariana. Rally troops. Her favorite space. Okay. Says she's a spice addict, but really she's a troop addict. All right, now, diplomacy. Well, where do we need more influence? It might be nice at this point to shoot for the Bene Gesserit alliance. Do you like the idea of doing that? I should really clean this up. Normally, you would want to play below 4 intrigue cards anyway, so that players can't steal from you at secrets. We'll just play this now, get 1 water. And yeah, still not sure what we're doing about the other cards. But okay, diplomacy can take us to secrets again. We have 8 persuasion, we can get shown directorship. Then we'll get the alliance. Cool. All right, let's just do that. So we'll go to secrets, getting an influence, getting an intrigue card. Cool. Okay, and then it's Leto's turn. He will Hardy Warriors. And Ariana, Carthag. Well, that will get us a Solari. Thank you so much. Carthag would get her a troop, but she has none in her supply. So all she can do is push in 2 from her garrison. Now we have 8 persuasion, so we're going to pick up Chone Directorship. And that will get us an influence with every faction. So that's 1 point for the Fremen, 1 point with the Bene Gesserit, and an intrigue card. Right. 1 point with the Spacing Guild, and no points yet with the Emperor. Okay. And then let's replenish. We can also retreat any number of our troops. Okay, let's see where the standings are. Yellow has 6, blue has 4. We have 7 troops for 14 strength. So if anyone is entering the conflict now, these 2 rivals, it would be at these spaces where the best they could do is push in 2 more troops from their garrison. And so if yellow does that, oh right, but yellow wouldn't be gaining troops before doing that. So really we have to watch out for blue. And if blue pushes in 2 more troops, they'll be at 8 strength. And as you said, most cards here have at most 2 strength on them. So to beat that, we would need to have at least 11 strength. We're just going to double check what's still to come, because there are some heavy hitters that might come out. So there is another Conspire card, which has 4 strength on it. Another Conspire. So maybe we shouldn't take any huge risks. But if blue draws the Conspire card, then they're not going into the conflict. So I think it should be quite safe for us to sit on 10 strength. Let's retreat 1 troop. We do want to be a bit cautious with these because the stage 3 conflicts are coming up. They're really valuable. We want to be able to have an advantage for those. Actually, let's retreat a second one because we have Master Tactician here, which could help us to overtake an AI if we get unlucky. So we will now go down to only 10 strength in the conflict. It's Leto's turn. He'll go to selective breeding. And then Ariana will... oh, she can't rally troops. Okay. Nope, she can't do selective breeding. Okay, so she goes to Conspire and gets no troops in her garrison since she's out of troops in her supply. And this gets shuffled. All right, let's discard all these lovely cards. And we go to the conflict. Now, Later will draw first. He gets +1. Then Ariana is drawing 4 swords, going to 8. So we've won the conflict. And we won by just enough as well. So good thing we didn't withdraw any more troops. We can get 2 influence of our choice. Well, let's get this easy point here with the Emperor. And we should probably contest one of these alliances. I do think, I think it's likely that we will go to the Fremen area again. Since we got so much water, Hardy Warriors is a good way to spend that for strength in conflicts. And so let's get an influence with them now, so that when we go to Hardy Warriors, we will get the alliance, hopefully. We will also play Demand Respect and pay 2 spice to get 2 influence with the Spacing Guild. Let's nab that alliance right now. So there's a point. And we also get 3 Solari. All right. All right. So then second place is blue. So Ariana is going to gain 2 Solari and water. Okay, there we go. And all these troops die. Then we will do makers. And recall. Right, so this is going to pass to Leto now, and we'll draw up. And new conflict is the battle for Arakeen. Okay, now note we are in the stage 3 conflicts now, so the brutal escalation rule is in effect. When it's time for the conflict, these rivals are going to draw 2 cards from the House of Guard deck instead of 1. Let's peek at our top card. It's Arrakis Liaison. Cool. All right. There is a good chance we could get to Spice Loss Flare this round. All right, in any case, it's Leto's turn first. He will harvest spice. So he'll go to the Great Flat and get 5 spice plus 2 that he already had stored up. Gets him a victory point. Also, he's not blue, he's yellow. Now it's Ariana's turn. She will harvest spice as well and get 3 spice combined with this 4. Gets her a victory point. And she will push in 2 troops. Now, we need to get as much forces as we can into the conflict. We also would like to ascend on the Fremen track before either the rivals do, or particularly before Yellow does. So let's do that first. We'll play Seek Allies, finally, and go to Hardy Warriors, so we'll pay 1 water. And that gets us 2 troops. We'll push in 2 more from our garrison. And we'll go up here to get a water back and another alliance point. Nice. Okay, then Seek Allies is trashed. Okay, it's Leto's turn. We'll go to Carthag, getting a troop and giving us a Solari. Then Ariana, Secrets. And as for us, well, Gurney is by far the most powerful card here. That being said, his reveal could also help us in the conflict, but let's just play him now. So we're going to play Gurney, and maybe we'll just try to draw as many cards as possible, since we've got all this water saved up, to get to something good here, maybe. All right, so yeah, let's go to Research Station. We'll pay 2 water, and we're going to draw 3 plus the 1 card from Gurney, drawing 4 cards. there. Hopefully you can see most of those. And getting us 2 troops, plus 2 more from our garrison. All right. We may as well play reinforcements as well, paying 3 Solari to get 3 more troops. Since we went to a combat space, we put them directly into the fray. And that was a pretty good turn. Okay, so now it's Leto's turn. He will go to conspire and get 2 troops in his garrison. Then Ariana will fold space and get a victory point for that influence. So, to our reveal turn now, we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 persuasion for the spice must flow. And we have a combat sword from our dagger. So that gets us to a total of, well, that's 11 troops, isn't it? So 23. And we get a spice from Spice Must Flow. Lovely. These are discarded. And play passes to Leto, who will go to the Hall of... Oh, sorry, they're out. They're out of troops, sorry. So he's going to draw 2 cards for the combat phase. Brutal Escalation. He gets a total of 3 swords, which puts him at 5. Ariana will draw 2 cards for a total of 6, getting her to 11. And we win the combat, so we're going to get 2 points and control of Arakeen, for no apparent reason, because the game's ending. Ariana will get 2 of these rewards. You know, we're feeling generous. We'll let her take the 3 Solari, so she can get a point from that. But of course, players get to choose ties, so you could choose for her not to if you wanted. She can also get 2 spice to help with the tie break. Whoa! All right. And that ends the game. We have won the game with 12 points against Ariana's 8 and Leto's measly 7. So that was quite a blowout. I would say that usually the hard mode for this is even harder, but we happen to get pretty fortunate with points from conflicts, as well as Ariana just completely clogging up her garrison and for some reason not wanting to engage in the conflict as much. But Chome Directorship, this was a really good card for us. It got us so many points from influence that otherwise would have been somewhat inconvenient for us to get, having to deal with certain faction spaces when we might have otherwise wanted to just go in the conflict. So there you have it. That's how you win at Dune Imperium solo mode on Kwisatz Haderach level. Please comment down below with any ideas you may have on strategy or how I might have played better to potentially stomp the AI even harder. But for now, that's another pair of dead robots.